Come on, turn around. You can do it. Mhm. This thing just simply will not respond until it starts. So let's try to get this turned around. There we go. Hello, everybody. How was everything? Once again, you get to see me. Um, Seems like every other day a broadcast is happening, but this is the cycle that's going on. So many things and holidays and all of that. How's everybody doing? Let's see that. It doesn't matter. So guys, how's everybody doing and all that? The phone call is on also. So if you need to get onto that 712-770-4160-980-860 pound, then that's will work. So it's like, and the tech probably works really well. I'm trying a little brighter lighting, in the background. So please respond on this before I leave and Kartron does his thing. Um, so we are here for the ninth wave peak, which is, the ninth wave unified field of consciousness. So we are at the highest point today of this ninth wave on this Saturday prescription broadcast. Prescription broadcast. Okay, subscription. Here, take 2 broadcasts and call me next millennium. It's like, I realize that I can sound like Chris, that one cartoon. Yeah, that's the way it is. So it's really interesting, isn't it? I have a question for you guys because Rebecca and I have noticed something unusual. And for us to say that something's unusual means it's probably pretty unusual. So good. Um, see, we saw 2 similarities that are really interesting similarities. And it was in names. And so the question I have for you guys is, are you noticing unusual similarities? And the reason that we're doing that is because, well, for one, Rebecca found Susie Walsh on the internet, and it says Susie Walsh had a heart attack and she was in the UK, a stroke. And it's like, huh? And so it was like, okay, that made us go, well, that's interesting. And, then there's probably thousands of Susie Walshes out there, but it just struck us as unique. And then, um, what is this other person that's hanging out with your relative? Shineki. Shane. So then Rebecca's relative is hanging out with um, Michael Shanetic. Shaynard. And it's like, okay, that's interesting because how many people have those type of names? It's like really interesting. And so Michael Shaneyfelt. It's like, where in the heck do you get a name Shaneyfelt? It's like you got to dig it up. And so, I mean, this guy actually looks like he's from Star Trek. So, one of the things that I'm wondering from you guys also, and report to us, please, is are you noticing unusual parallels? And one of the things that came to my mind is reminded of this from the 1990s was that basically they will use this the parallel moments and bring a different pattern in. And so it's one of those editing programs of an artificial nature bringing in these events. So these other energies that want things to go a certain way, which may not be aligned with prophecy or the divine, can come in and, in a sense, hack in and bring in these other things. And the reference that I was listening to today was a radio station interview of this guy who actually invented the private encryption algorithm or whatever. And so it was when he was in trial with Zuckerberg in '06 or something. And this lawyer, this guy proved that, we got this, and this is the private encryption. They had to get that out of there so that then they could surveil all internet and have constant tax and know about monitoring you. And so Clinton and these other beings are connected with it. And so this guy was the one who was doing the engineering for these codes. And so as soon as he proved it, right at that moment, the other lawyer said, no, he invented it in the living room, in his dorm room. And so Zuckerberg created this, but they had just proven that he didn't. And so what I realized is that this is one of these editing programs, right? So what they'll do is they will, when an event happens, they'll come in and bring something else to distract or whatever. It's all part of this, you know, detraction game. And so it's very interesting to find these parallel names, and it recalled to me this unusual nature of parallel similarities. So one of the things I asked Rebecca just before this started was, do you think that maybe parallel dimensions are getting close by and certain things are slipping back and forth? That'd be a thing for Kartron to think about. And so, yes, two men named Jeremy, one named Amanda, influenced on my life, same time, two women named Chris. Yeah, and so, Donna, you're right. It's like, why are there these similarities? When I was lying in the cremation oven on Halloween, a year to the day after my friend had been burned up there because he had died in a weird way, um, there was another Patrick working on that job of pouring the cement where bodies are burned. And it was like, okay, this is interesting on Halloween, a year to the day. So it's very interesting, these event horizons. And one of the things that I think is good for us is to be aware of it. And today, I followed up on a threat that I've been wanting to do for 40 years. So, and which was actually, I just organized all my screws. And so, basically, this is what I did. Okay, all of these screws are now all separate and organized. And organizing is very good. So I've been threatening to do that since like age 15 or so. And so once you have everything organized, it's easy to find and grab. When I was at doing job sites to where I was running them for creating lawyers and dentist offices in Las Vegas for a guy. I was basically running the job site. I would go in and organize all the crew supplies so that they could walk in and they could look and see exactly what they had. And we were able to finish sometimes 10 to 30% quicker on a job because they knew exactly what they did. They go boom, boom, boom. And so it really makes a big difference when you have organization in your life. So if you guys have been procrastinating, then do not, get in there and even start with a little bit. And you might even wind up with this type of thing. See, this is all the handles and screws that we use to create these things, which have been painted gold. So just wanted to let you know that that's what we were doing as far as getting things going. Another interesting thing, which you guys will see behind me, is shoes. And so Rebecca and I wound up with these shoes, and we're like, okay, they're pretty nice. Well, then let's. I have a okay, yes, I was thinking my screen door was open because we don't want mosquitoes. So I'm like, okay, these are like Nikes and Adidas's and stuff. And so Rebecca said, well, let's sell them or something. And so she put an ad on there, and then it was like all these people started responding for shoes, right? And it's like, okay, these guys are all hard up for for tennis shoes or sneakers. But then we find out that, for instance, these, which are um, uh, galactic Nikes, right, that are about 6 years old in really good shape, um, are worth about 200 bucks. And it's like, okay, well, that's special. So people were emailing or contacting Rebecca on Messenger for these shoes from New Mexico and it's like, what the heck? I mean, so if you got shoes that are like really interesting, right? You don't know what you got. So guys, instead of just tossing it out or whatever, you never know. So if and this is the time where people can really, really get things and be interested. So it was a very interesting, thing. Okay. Yes, I know how you feel. I'm sorry I have to get this close so I can see. Building a house. You built a house in Merida, Yucatan? Elizabeth, what are you, 20? Um, and Elizabeth Bronstein just finished building a house. And so it's very interesting, this phase that's going on right now. Here's the ninth wave peak. So Kartron's going to come through and he's going to do his ninth wave peak things. Um, and so as far as someone had mentioned in an email today, that they said, wow, you're really blending together really well with Kartron. And she called me Patron. And I'm like, Okay, now I've very specifically made sure that my identity is kept separate from Kartron because I reserve the right to do stupid shit as a human whenever I want. And so I can be mortal, I can have flaws and weird things and stuff. In fact, doesn't it add to the entertainment value of the Ding Ding Club when, when you want to light up a pillarette and you don't know which end to do? One time somebody had a dream about me and I was smoking, I was putting a pipe in my mouth and it was backwards. And so I reserve the right to be able to do backwards pipe smoking whenever I want. So just to let you know that I keep the identity separate because, yes, we are all one, but we do have these other things, right? Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Hello, people. How are you doing? The nature of this reality is slated for a major changeover. Have you noticed that? Like, are you seeing these musings of these things that are like, whoa, fundamentally different? And you may notice things of a subtle nature, of a quiet subtleness, but it's like something that seems significantly vibrationally different. Have you noticed that there's some fundamental changes going on of late? And so it is the process that you guys are now on the very precipice of all these tennis shoes sneaking up behind you. See, that's a joke. Sneaker, sneaking. And so, making sure. So today we're going to amplify the peak wave of the ninth unified field consciousness, the Mayan ninth wave. Dr. Kalaman, a professor, actually is one of the foremost authorities on Mayan sciences and stuff. And you can look up uh, ninth wave Mayan calculator, and you can put in your date. And so Patrick makes sure that the unified field or the third dimensional field cycle is included in these broadcasts because, of course, if we're at the peak, then we can bring in the divine. So today, let's bring in the unified consciousness to really shine the light and illuminate and give everything a tan with this oneness. Not to make polarity go away, but to basically illuminate everything that it is. Because it's time for it to look at its own stuff instead of all you guys having to just see all these discretionary ineptitudes. Discretion at your own discretion. Okay, so at your own basically perceptible consent and ability to observe and perceive, um, ineptitude is basically some weird, strange character quality or trait. So it's basically as one's consent as they perceive reality that is not in integrity. Does that help? Good. And so they can't hear you. So anyway, you'd have to talk with your outside dimension voice in order to be heard, or we would have to repeat. So how are you guys doing? Are you ready to bring in the unified ninth wave? With these parallel realities, yes, the veils are getting thinner. As far as those things which are very succinct and separate, with vibrational distinction, which made sure that, say, the veil, the dimension, the dimensional wafer that's between the dimensions is very distinct and separate. Because if there was like a homogenization and amalgamation of sympathetic resonance, then this structure would become non-functional pretty fast because you wouldn't have multiple levels of things of being accomplished. You wouldn't have, it was like, imagine 3D stuff going up to the spirit guide realm, and they would start getting all yuckified, and it's like, ew, make it stop. And so it's very organized and succinct. along those lines of organization, Patrick's organizational structure that he did and he implemented really lends sanity to a process. So if you guys have been threatening to organize something, if you have a garage full of boxes, then just pick one and go through it. And Patrick has a three pile method. You may have heard this before. One that you know absolutely you're going to get rid of, one that you're not sure of, and one you know you're going to keep. And so the one that you're going to keep, the bravest people will keep only 10% of their possessions. And that's in the quantum boot camp where we use the science of the void to where you create a deliberate void, an intentional void, and the universe says, we're going to fill that up. But if you take the best of what you got and that becomes what you have now, you have 90% space of opportunity and possibility. It's one of the secrets. So it's the science of the void is one of the secrets to mastery. So as you then have a void space and your best is now your floor, well, duh, do that math, see what happens. But it can be very intimidating to get rid of 90% of everything that you are. And so it's like, help, because you guys are all so busy making sure, well, not all of you are so busy, but it can be like, I still need an attachment of something that confirms that I'm limited or I am separate from, or, all this stuff that you're supposed to be in order to stay human enough to incarnate, or at least keep a body. And so it's a very interesting thing, isn't it, that you guys are on the precipice of these unknown possibilities. Right now, the void science is what is happening between paradigms. This is the first moment that we are mentioning this in the 28 years that we've been discussing with you guys. There's a void, and it is about 9/10 of an unknown. Even the ones who are in charge of the reset or the weird lizard people or whatever are then, they don't know what the heck's going on. And it's been deliberately like that. So the power of not knowing is one of the things that, especially you guys as beings of light, are realizing. Because when you don't have to know, then it's okay because you know that it's okay. That makes sense? So if you are not needing to know, you do not put it through this grist mill of mentality. It doesn't then put into these little frames and boxes for your gallery showing of intellectual perception. And this then does not limit the possibility of the cosmos within your life. This is not about learning about the science of the void, but just letting you know that the whole cosmos thing here between paradigms is now basically empty for a reason, and it's very intentional. So even the ones that are part of the prophecy of this whole thing don't know what's happening, and that's the way the God has intended it. So even the angels are not privy to this. This way, if nothing else knows, then nothing else can find out. So right now, let's bring in a little more of that divine unknowing, and let's bring in this divinity of light so that we can then shine and illuminate that light upon the world for the full spectrum of reality. Now, this will be non-discriminatory. We will be unbiased, and we're just going to give the light energy, kind of like what the Buddha does during the Wesak for the 8 minutes that it can come in. All right. Hello, everybody. This thing just suddenly says, no one's here. Let's just shut off. Okay, we'll save energy or whatever. It's like, stop it. We do exist, therefore we are not. Got it? Come on. This technology is so non-functional. By the way, for you guys of the light, you got some really cool phones coming. They're about $1,400 right now, but they are the ones that are not able to be hacked, and it's based upon crystal instead of microwave energy. So it'll be much nicer for you to communicate in a sentient consciousness. They still work with towers? We won't get into that. It's more like a Tesla tower. Rebecca asked, do they work with towers? They can. But guess what the new internet is running off of? And it's running off of radios, not even this whole IoT Internet of Things. And so this is something that is a new thing that you don't need this whole broadband stuff, and it's a much simpler frequency range. And so where did we? Is it okay now? Okay, thank you, Julian. Not knowing, but not knowing what? Was it the cosmos or the power of not knowing? Because we didn't even look. It's like, oh, we are not connected with you. And so, what were we talking about not knowing? So, guys, the power of the void is what the cosmos, those administrators for the Earth plane, is bringing in because it can't be hacked, right? Because it doesn't exist. Therefore, it is not. And if it is not, then it is not able to be encapsulated into a structure. This fluidic nature of a quantum state, and as we have said, quantum perception defines the universe. It does not exist in one particular state, and this is for you, Rebecca, until it's perceived and observed. Once it's observed, then it's put into one form, but it has all the potentiality. The nature of that existence is in some ways that it exists in more than one place at once, in more than one form. So it is the perceptible cosmos that is the defining reality. Now, guys, here's one of the little skinnies of how they are manipulating in a lower nature this reality. If they can keep people perceiving in the way that they are guiding them, then they will be able to keep them in that movie. But drop those curtains and guess what happened? So the thing, the discussion upstairs, we are still on. Um, the thing, the discussion is, when do we disclose the whole thing? When is the whole thing able to be shared? Because really, what's interesting. Okay, here's a little ditty. Um, Upstairs there's an issue, and that is they kind of screwed up on several golden ages, and it's like, oops, uh-oh, can't do that. Oh, well, let's not do that again. Oh, okay, okay, that didn't work. Okay, this is the what not to do manual. And so it's funny because you have an army field manual and you follow that, then you could die because they don't say there's another manual that goes with the field manual, and this is how not to kill yourself. And so it's like that, to where there's no extra guidebook on this thing. So the deities upstairs have their issues. And the issues are, let's not screw up. And so they actually have concern. It's very refreshing to watch them have some fear. And so it's like, okay, good. You guys feel this? Do you feel what the light workers here have been immersed in for centuries and millenniums? Well, how does that feel? And so this little taste, this litmus, is starting to be given to the divine realm because they're very precautionary. But precautionary is because they're not sure, right? And they don't want to make a mistake because they are being watched in a way where they could graduate and not have to facilitate an ascension or an evolution of a species. And so they don't want to really screw it up this time. And so it's very refreshing to watch them go, sphinxters tightening across the land. And so it's like this thing where it is actually as above and as above, so below. So you guys are going, oh no. And as you release your concern, and you're like, hey, this is cool, Daddy K. All right. Love that somatic dimension. Golden being, no problem, right? So you guys go there, and they're saying, ooh, 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 when do we tell everybody what's really going on? And so, isn't that interesting that they are feeling this ascension in ways that they have never felt before? And so, let's do this, shall we? Let's give them nothing. That's right, Julian. Nothing old feels right or makes sense, right? Now, Susie, yes, trust, hope, and faith are necessary when there is an absence of knowing. And so it's necessary to have the faith that something's going to be good. So you learn to trust. And basically, if you think about what the concept of trust is, it's about working through the not trust. And so the very thing that's focused on is what it's not. Isn't that so quantum-y? And so here you are trusting that everything's going to be okay, but the fact that you are trusting means that there's a concept of non-trust. So knowing gets to the place where you no longer need trust, hope, and faith. But then it gets into this place where if you know all of that, then no longer are you needing to be in the human experience. And so it's like, okay, how far do we go in this whole matrix leaving program? Do we get all spacey in this samadhic state and then keep going and dropping body? Yeah, it's like a schedule change, great, get on a different train and go, oh, look, Cat Stevens Peace Train, there's a sale on today. Let's take Amtrak to heaven. This is the White Monday, not Black Friday. And so, or do you then precipitate back and say, okay, that's high enough because I'm really supposed to precipitate it in and really bring it in and bring it on home for these people? Where is my responsibility? What is the capacity? Where's the line in the sand where I am accountable? When I'm realizing that maybe I was not responsible or accountable to the level, and maybe I did all these things that I might not have had to do. You see how fundamental these things are, because now you're even questioning the whole existence and the purpose of your several incarnations. So this is what we're going to do with the ninth wave. We're going to bring in the light. Nice and simple. No belief, no perception. We're just going to radiate more energy of a divine nature to illuminate all of this and then let it be what it is, because now it's time for all of you to see what everything really is. It's like, come out wherever you are. And so this stuff that's playing hide and seek, of course, it doesn't want to see us. It doesn't want us to see it with its knickers down. But it may have a nice bum. Who knows? So let's rock and roll on this joint. Archangel Michael, please sound the clarion call as we open the gateway to the grand hall of the archangels. Now, yes, Donna, knowing is a soul quality. Absolute knowing is a source quality. Um, But if you absolutely know, then you start releasing the necessity of existence here. You notice how it's all kind of moot, this whole incarnation thing, whether you're breathing or not in that way? So there's a whole redefinition. You guys are saying, okay, this is who I am, not only on this planet, but in the universe now, because it's been there, done that. We are complete. It's like, okay, one of the things that Patrick hasn't gotten with putting this in his brain is that all of these are valuable shoes in their own way. So therefore, all these pathways, all these walks of life have value. It is an abundant state that no matter what you are on in your path, there is an abundance in that quality. And perhaps in the master's courses, we are assisting you, and we've been giving you the hints through all of these seasons about how you can see the abundance and prosperity that has always been there. And so, Saint Germain, please sound the clarion call. Actually, no, Saint Germain, please open the gateway to the Ascended Lord and Lady Masters of Shambhala. Kuan Yin, let's do the grace thing again. Archangel Michael, please bring in the Solar Logos. Soleil, Rebecca's Divine Dominion Angel, please open up the Council gateway to the Central Sun. So that way Soleil and Michael tag teaming together, right? We're going to bring in some real cosmic juice here. And so we're going to power up like Ghostbusters, everybody. We're activating your pillars of transformation within you counterclockwise, increasing 900% spin. We're also activating your God gates, which are 1.3 meters up and about 4 feet out wide. And so through the veil. So now we're pumping that volume up. And so just feel that turning up. And we're going to add a violet energy, Saint Germain's energy, the violet flame in the core, like a ring within the geometry of the God gate of your beings. Now we're going to subsume you into your own souls. So therefore, take a nice deep breath. Now, hold it, release your physical, spiritual, and soul existence now. Give it to the world, out and up. Fall back into soul. And here we go. Emoliate, illuminate, and radiate. So now, Power Rangers, we are transmigrating you to above the veil with your spirit guide, so you'll be in yourself, your you self, and your soul self, and your higher self realm. So see yourself in the Trinity. And now a grand enclave above the veil for all of you in the world. Now we're creating, it's like perceive a perfect circle of beings that are on this broadcast. And then each of you in your own individual places is where that matrix is duplicated. So therefore, you have the whole potentiality of your whole potentiality. And now we're opening up the crystal matrix grid. We're energizing it. Soleil and Archangel Michael, please now open the gateways and allow the central sun energy to illuminate and bathe and ignite the crystal matrix grid on the outside of this Earth atmosphere. So just see that light up, bam, almost like we are in the sun. And now we are surrounded by the cosmic fire. It is hot yet not, because it is this cosmic divine energy that is illuminating and transmutative, all permeating. It is the source. We are placing the earth into the heart of God. So, all of you incline to the heart space. Just relax. And if you have any issues, any problems, any troubles, any things that you want to get across or say, just give it to that cosmic fire of the heart of God. Ready? Breathe in. Take all your issues, and we're going to have some angels pull out extra stuff out of everybody. Exhale and let it transmute. And now we illuminate your cosmic pillar outside of your God gate. It is the sheath within which you are placed, and it is like a golden crystal tube. And now we send that to your earthly self from your spirit guide self and the soul and the you self. Stabilize that matrix because it's a triangulation. And gold is a stabilizational frequency in between dimensions. And now we illuminate the grand God gate. We ask the angels in the grand hall of archangels to now project the angelic ray. You see, they're like next to, above, way above, next door to you. It's like in a non-localized reality, the angel. Because remember, it is a celestial elemental. It is these beings that are able to hold this frequency for us. So we're asking them to line up now. The archangels will have their legions. We station them at each of the portals and pillars of transmutation that we ignite and illuminate equidistant around the earth. The pillars are 100 miles across. And now, Soleil and Michael, if you could just project the energy, we ask the Central Sun Council to project this energy Now remember, everybody, we're at the ninth wave peak. This is the day of heaven. And so it's like, boom, okay, now we open the gateway at the highest resonant frequency of unified consciousness. So we're actually invoking and culling and bringing forth, we're calling forth the oneness mind of creation itself, of the collective nature of the collective mind of humanity. And so now we bring that up, raise it up, because it is one with the mind of God and not in the fricassee of polarity, but in the collective state. The human mind is a divine vessel, not just in the thing where it's representing an archetypally or whatever. This is way above that din. And so now we ask for the purest mind of humanity to now open up the gateways above its crown. We didn't say the crown, we said above the crown, where its soul star of the highest nature and possibility for humanity exists. Oh, can you feel the energy of the gateway of the most divine high for humanity, of these souls that have taken the longest journey away from the oneness of God, now opening to the greatest possibility as the lowest becomes the highest, valleys become mountains, as we open the gateways of the soul of the mind. And now we ask the earth to host this proper steward of humanity and open her gateways and her vortices and her vortexes and the crossroads and all of these power spots and all of that stuff. Not even the ancient temples, that's a man-made creation. We're talking about earth, homie, yeah. So as she opens up her nodal points, it's like acupuncture points for the planet. And now we have the divine mind open, and now here comes the rays coming into the crystal matrix grid, opening up the gateways and the pillars, transmuting down. Now you guys have this sheath, remember? Don't take this personal. You don't want to get in that field. This is a planet changer, okay? So just relax, be in your center, and you can watch the fire of God itself transmit past you as you are the vessels, the grails of divinity. And so now, guys, here we go. As this ray comes from the crystal matrix grid or the CMG, it's just a crystal, beautiful grid, all illuminated. Remember, we're in the heart of God vibrationally. And so as this drops into the veil area and the pillars of transmutation around the earth, we transmit this now down, and humanity, above humanity is the collective crown chakra, the soul star, and it will receive this energy in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, illuminate. One of the protocols that are for intervention's sake in prophecy and ascensions of different worlds is that awakening, true awakening, does not come from without. It is from within. And so, as we activate the highest capacity of the mind of humanity, we then have charged the councils of the humanity, right? The spirit guides with this, they have the task, the dispensation covenant to dispense it to the self that they are mentoring. And so therefore, we are not outside, we're not without. It is within because we have given it to them and now they can administer it from within the being. See how that works? So now we have not violated the protocols of intervention. We've given it to the who's who. And so now That was not an angry statement, but it's just really, guys. It's like, do you want to resume the broadcast? Well, let's see. Oh, look, we have to make our hands really small because we're going to do the 6 degrees of bitch slap to you guys. Because stop it. Because we're right in the middle. You're getting ready for the happy moment. Yes, the hot date is going to deliver. And now it goes, oh, and stay tuned next week for the secret to life. You bingo bum. And so, guys, um, guess we got to have the eyes open this time. It's like, ah. So I guess we're really leaving the reservation vibrationally because this thing is losing track of us. And so, guys, as we bring in the unified consciousness, we're bringing it at the highest level. Could you please tell us where you lost? Where the signal decided, oh, it's okay, nobody's on. Ooh, better watch it, we're going to spank you. And so, as you get into this process, right, we allow the solar logos to transmit the energy, Helios and Vesta, for this is the true nature, the original Genesis prophecy for humanity to land atomically on this world that was millions of years in the preparation to receive the evolution of these souls of a lowest nature. So, this is the original golden codes of Genesis. Is it working? Stop it. And so the nature of your existence right now, guys, is you are not you. You are not existent. You are in your sheath. It's a protective mechanism, okay? Because we're bringing through a lot of cosmic juice. Just let it flow through you. It's like being in a flame and you're not banned, okay? This is the buffering because you don't want your physicality to get all these cosmic hangovers. Carbon-based life forms are just simply not designed to handle this frequency. That's why you guys are becoming like kind of like a silicone crystallization for the higher self to come into a body that's more comfortable, made of light. Water bodies are not the inherent form. So humans, have you guys noticed that humans are not that comfortable in water bodies? Light bodies is what you guys are made for, but good luck on graduating in the next year. So making do with what you have. We now open the gateway, the unified consciousness of humanity, the most divine high, opening up the eighth chakra, the soul star for the collective. We now bring in that light. You guys are holding this. Boom is transmuting past you all over the world. See each of these pillars now receiving this light from Soleil and from Archangel Michael. And the angelic halls now project a frequency like a laser. And this is all the concentrated angelic energy. And when this happens, boom, this is this part, the angel formula. This was the angel code, right? It takes humanity and angel code put together, along with some others. So when you add the two encryption keys, oh yeah, baby, you get to reverse the fall in many ways. So as we do this actually, Rebecca is monitoring the chat, but up in council. Right now, she is so not here. She's busy doing, Rebecca stuff, stuff that would kill most people. She's just, hanging out on a comfy couch where all these walks of life are sneaking up behind us. These are like 6 and 7-year-old shoes, some of them, and some of them are like brand new. And it's like, whoa. And so, how are you guys doing? Please report on the chat. And so right now, everyone take your respective place. Open up to that reality and allow yourselves to be transmigrated. You will be where you are. You will be in your soul. You'll be with your higher self. On the count of three, you're going to be transmigrated simultaneously there, wherever you're supposed to be. So just do not hold on. Don't even look. One, two, three. We're transporting you, or whatever we call it right now. Now bring to your perception and awareness. You notice how we didn't even do still point. We had you go right to soul. And we are wondering why the phone is even moving because we are not. And so, as we look upon this matrix of covenants, this fabric of destiny, you see this golden threads, this tapestry of golden energy that Helios and Vesta have been blessing because they are like the ones who are in their positions of holding the solar energy for this solar system. Unwinding an illusion this deep, it's not the easiest thing if they don't want to just rip apart a host. So it's a really big head scratcher, even for the highest levels. And God's sitting back saying, oh, yeah, thank God Kartron's Pillaret showed up. This is good. Oh, yeah. Go for it, everybody. Yeah, show us how it's done. We trust you. Oh, God's trusting us. Help. No, not that again. Wait a second. If I'm one with God, that means I am God. Now I'm trusting myself. Oh, no, that's even worse. Help. I'm such a quandary. I'm supposed to be separate in a body, breathing. I have to go to the bathroom and eat and bills. And oh, Kartron, why are you doing this to us? It's so one. Oh, help. How can we be human and God at the same time? The nature of your existence is coming from all directions of creation itself. As we prepare the garden of your soul, of your existence in this life, and fertilize it and plant these codes within the very soil of your Edenic state, now you are vibrationally available for the greatness of you are as cosmic beings. Some of you may feel a little odd. Some may feel like, where have you been all my life as far as this energy goes? Whenever it gets a little wonky or strange, just breathe in, go to center, go to the solace, not even the soul, just stay in the solace, become one with nothing, and there you go. Breathe it out, let it all go. Because that's that story, right? Oh, you're in the life, and you got an existence, and you got people and family or whatever, and you got these problems and pains or whatever, but still, it's just this stage, costumery, and props. Now, we are not discounting a third dimensional existence. This is where the rocks are hard. So this is where you get to really do the test runs on this stuff, right? Because you guys are going to be waking up with an ascended planet, and you will become the government. You will become the governance. You will become this stewardship. You will become this thing. You are the sages, the prophets, the seers. You are the teachers. You are the ones who people will come to. Well, the system was wrong, and I woke up, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. I heard about these beacons. I really want a beacon. I want to see and talk with them. And then you guys will do a Kartron, right? Well, by the way, the secret to life is, oh, look, time's up. There's a gateway. Let me know what happens. Bye. Ah, I don't want to be in my own power. Can't you please give me the guidebook? Oh, Lightworker revenge. Yes, you're going to go through the same stuff. I'm cooking. Rebecca will be like, oh, yeah, cooking. Okay, kid, barbecue. More humans coming up. Smoke rings galore. And so, as you guys get to this place where you are becoming cosmic, right? Again, but you're in a body and you've got this stuff, you're facilitating it. Just know that it's actually not only really okay to have one, but it's actually one of the best positions to be in, which you'll find out once you get all these pains and other weird stuff, right, work through. Because think of all the old weird stuff you guys had to go through and picked up along the way. Ooh, you got paradigm all over you. Quick, get it off. Then, what position will you have when you are in this state of illumination, awakening, as Rebecca's team calls it, the Homo Luminous? You are positioned to be in the best place ever, basically in the cosmos. Now, if you drop your body, well, great, schedule change. But if you are here in one, then what an advantageous reality. So, as you look at the divine and all of these things, which may or have been formerly considered negative, you can see that the divinity does rest, W-R-E-S-T, rest within the fabric of its existence, no matter how high or low the vibration, because there is a wisdom that awaits you at every moment, and it comes from within. By illuminating the crown, chakra, and above, where the soul star of the highest, most high, most holy mind of humanity, where human mind meets God mind, then you are able to transmit this energy in a way that, well, you won't get in the way, right? It's like here you are just transmitting it. It's like, boom, it's going right through you as your office, as your station, as your nature. The all permeating essence of your being expanding then leaves the self out of it, which then replaces you, and you no longer have to be the Donnas, the Yogas, the Susies, and all of that stuff, right? And because it's on auto ascent. So is that okay? That you guys are okay about not having to be here? And so it's like, okay, the nature of your existence now is what? Well, I'm not a light worker so much. I'm not needing to be as human. At least human is not my primary reference. It's just this planet that I'm doing most of the work on, most of your assignment work, right? It's not like I'm doing most of the heavy lifting. It's more like, well, I have an assignment in the universe, so this is where a lot of it gets done. The test bed, the salt flats of the universe, ready to go, boom. And so the things, the reports, the experiences, the results that you guys do of your experiences are being always recorded up because there's 1,000 other ascensions going on right now, and they're benefiting from your experience. So in this collective being, right? If an ascension is 3 million years ago, isn't it still going on in certain ways? So you're even helping the fallen golden ages of the past without interfering or distorting the purity of the polarity or the negativity or the separation, right? You see how important it is? This is what the stage ingredients are. This is what the director was doing so that, okay, well, we got to do this. Think of the prayers that you are answering from God by being here. And so now, everyone, we're going to activate the temple of love in your heart. So just feel that it's not even beating in your chest, it's all around. And so now we take your golden heart, the temple of love within you. Now, this is the cosmic part, so you're not all having to change your heartbeats to fit as selves. So 1, 2, 3, we take this collective heartbeat, bump, 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 and now we synchronize it with the heart of God within which the earth was placed, with this sympathetic resonance. Now, you being one with the heart of God, beating within your chest, now becomes the illuminated that radiates down into the world from this position of your office, because now you are the shining one. On the count of 3, we activate your golden self that we installed less than a week ago. 1, 2, 3. So see the golden solar logos, golden beings, self now projecting into this matrix with the angel ray and all of that. And it radiates down. We will leave this go for 24 time cycles or 1 full day, different time zones. How are you guys doing? Yes, Julian, have you noticed how you don't need to be anything? You don't need to do anything. Beyond the doing is the being. But then if you get into realizing that it's perfect, then so much for whole trust, hope, and faith. And then you get into, oh, wow, I don't even need to be. I can be nothing, which means I am everything. What do I want to be today? Oh, I'm going to formulate this part of my being. Now, this may be a far cry from some of you that are like, oh, I'm between jobs or something, but just realize we are imprinting this. And so this will come in at the perfect time. Oh, wow. 3 years ago, Kartron said, oh, I get it now. This honors each of your evolutions and the timing thereof without foisting this timing will be the way you will do this. It's like, oh, please. And there's an immunity protection order for you guys. So there should be a lot less interference patterns, or it should be greatly diminishing. As this world wraps up and they get ready to break set, then you guys having this immutable identity, it's regardless if this world exists or not, then you will be taking it with you. Patrick saw a cute sign. It says, if I can't take it with me, I ain't going. And it's like, well, that's cute, but this is something that you do take with you. And we want to thank you for being the vessels, the nodal points, the shining ones for us. Look at what you're doing by being available for what we're doing. It's like you give us access. Thank you for your consent. Because we have to go through the Lightworker filter. It's like, well, you guys are the ones that have put up with the greatest crap, right? Oh, I got the mighty altar of poop. That's wonderful. But then we have to run it through your filter. That's why we have you as a side of God sometimes. Be the template, see the world perfect. We really are using you as the projectors, the transmitters, and all of that, the bridges. This broadcast is complete. If there's anything you wish to comment on, you know how to get hold of Patrick. Wednesday will be the final broadcast, the public one, and it will be whatever is on that. This will be Harvest of Souls. It's time for everybody to go where they're supposed to be, right? Because if the shadow stays here, it will die, non-exist. And Patrick realized that one time Soleil was in Rebecca's body and they were doing a session in a car, and this targeted individual thing was saying, blank you, Kartron, blank you. After this thing cooked it. So Rebecca's team went, wow, and Kartron, and it started freaking out. And it's in no way is it going to look at that angel, because that's the angel of death, giving it third-degree burns. So in the dark way, it's like the enemy was the light because it was burning it to death. So it was burning up like in the gates of hell, because heaven's fire is so much hotter. And so it would not look. It turned away from that thing Rebecca had, and we became this safe place to yell at and actually invent new swear words, which was basically saying, okay, can you give me some asylum here? Okay, I'm ready. So isn't that interesting? We are complete. Patrick will come through. We want to thank you for helping us radiate this ninth wave. One mind, unified field, right? This Bluetooth seems to be working well. It's getting a good signal, right? And so we are complete. Rebecca will be doing the manifestation part 2 of the second series tomorrow, but 6:30, everybody. Notice will go out in the morning. Oh, by the way, Rebecca's giving a thank you cellular clearing, group clearing for the Kartronians. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern, you guys are going to get another helping heaping of angelic juice from the spa. And so show up for that if you want a good hit. And then at 8, if you want, Rebecca's thing is a $10 contribution to pay her bills to do the manifestation, and where 2 or more are gathered, right? And now her thing is where 3 or more are gathered. Talk about wonderful and yummy. Some of you can attest to that. Add Dominion Angels to a collective manifestation, and boom. Thank you very much for showing up, everybody, and being our transmitters. You're like part of an electric circuit. We'll talk to you later. Life is good. Farewell. Hello, everyone. That was nice, wasn't it? I feel way out there, but also very here, which is a weird feeling because it's here where we're bringing this in. I have seen recently these reports of how nefarious this other stuff is. And it's like, I was upset. It's like, no fear. It's like, come on, don't be so stupid. Just quit it. Oh, but we got to do this. It's like, guys, they're going to actually neutralize all economy. On Venus, the economy was being manipulated, and the people were being similar situation was happening on Earth a long time ago. And so 90% of the people burned their money and the economy collapsed. Guess what happened to the manipulators? They came to Earth. And so if they keep that up, they may have to do a shutdown on the whole system, because it's like if it's so polluted and so distorted and they got thousands of layers of deception, then okay, we'll just do the kill switch on everything, and then the other thing can come in. And it thinks, oh, we'll just run to the next system. But Earth has a one-way door. And so it's like, okay, guys, you really want to play that roulette game, because guess who wins all the time? No matter how much you shout, it's going to be okay. So guys, thank you so much for helping us to facilitate the higher possibility of reality. Helios Investa's golden codes of Genesis. Super cool. Oh my God, those things really are forged from the heart of the sun type of thing. These things are like made of like light that's gold, and it's like, whoa, they're forged. It's like boom, 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 anvil stuff. It's really cool to look at. And so that's what you were given in the rays right now. Not your own, but for the world. So right now, the world is being illuminated for 24 hours. And so all truth is time to be revealed. Nothing will be hidden. And so as you get all these shock and awe things, like, oh my God, really, 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 then it's okay. Just keep letting it go because it's not your movie. This thing is on fast, loop. And so as this happens, then it's just going juk, 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 juk. So it's going to be quickening. Stay in your center will allow you to observe it for the crazy house film night that it is. And so, thank goodness we had the Kartron thing. December, we've decided, is claiming your future because we've got the light bodies, got all this stuff. And so it's about time for us to claim our timeline the way that we want, because it's time for us to bring in prophecy because we are the most powerful force, period. And as this happens, it's too bad that we got to do that, right? We got to pull the universe card. But do you guys want to really trust any of this other stuff? I don't think so. And it's like it's trying to make us step up to the plate. Have you felt that? Like it's you being taunted to come up into leadership. It's like you will do this. We're gonna piss you off, all this stuff, and you will come up because okay, that's it. That's enough. And it's like, yes, there you are. So it's like, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we're gonna keep throwing rocks at you until you throw them back. So it's okay to start stepping up, stepping out, to be on the stage and start feeling like it's time to start being there, sharing the wisdom, holding the light, stuff like that. That's on schedule. So anyway, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So guys, patmac33 at gmail.com. For Rebecca's thing, you can sign up on her thing. You can email her or just sign up. Her newsletter will come out tomorrow for that. This is manifestation on steroids, really, from some of the reports. And so then our next thing is Wednesday. Thank God. I can take a few days off because it seems like I was just doing so many of these. And I want to thank all of you guys for being so supportive. And now finally, it's time to bring this together because we are about to begin our process to change the world. This is Patrick with the Kartron Experience, creator of the Kartron Experience and transmitter for Kartron and Metatron. And thank you very much for being here on this 10th episode of the 25th season of Vessels of Destiny, where this is the 9th wave day of heaven. And it's time to let your love light shine. See you guys later. Life is good.